What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Monday, November 18th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. There's many more shows that are bigger than mine. There are not many more shows that have a bigger promo code than that one. I've literally seen no other show with a bigger promo code that lets you get up to $1,000 for free with a 50% deposit match bonus at UnderdogFantasy.com or in the Underdog Fantasy app. So use that promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for that 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. All right, we had a lot of slips over the weekend. Unfortunately, we didn't hit all of them. We did hit one on Friday, though. So hitting an NBA Friday night got my hopes high for what the weekend would entail. We missed by a couple shots here and there on Saturday, a couple punches here or there on Saturday, and then NFL, we didn't quite get there on Sunday. So still, last week was one of the best weeks I think we've had on this show. I hit, I think, on 4 out of 5 days. Pretty dang awesome. Let's do that again today, and let's do it again this week. Let's start out with Monday Night Football. Obviously, Monday Night Football is what most people are going to be tuning into this evening. Pretty lame game between the Texans and the Cowboys. 7.5 point road favorites. Texans at the Cowboys. It's lame because the Cowboys are just one. They've quit on their coach. They quit on their team, and they just aren't who we thought they were going to be this year. After all these injuries, Dak Prescott's obviously out. We've got some injury concerns with CeeDee Lamb. I think why would CeeDee Lamb want to play with Cooper Rush? He's gonna probably get him hurt. Deron Bland is still out. I think Micah Parsons is back though, so there's a little bit of a positive return for the team here. But just not the game that was promised when this thing was scheduled. I think that we'd rather see a full steam or a full complement of players on the Cowboys to make this thing interesting. Nico Collins should be back for the Texans in this game as well. Nico Collins is one of the best receivers in the league right now when he's actually healthy. His link with CJ Stroud is amazing. So I'm looking forward to him getting a touchdown in this game. I have my slip with Nico Collins higher than half a rushing plus receiving touchdown. And then also on this side of the ball, on the Texan side, I've got John Metchie higher than 12.5 receiving yards. This one is just way too low. In the last 2 weeks, he's become kind of a trusted target, or at least more target, or actually last 3 weeks, he's been a little bit more targeted for this team. 12.5 receiving yards is one catch for him. On the depth chart, like on ESPN.com or elsewhere, it will show that John Metchie is the backup for Nico Collins on the depth chart. And Nico Collins is back, so you think, okay, well, John Metchie isn't going to play now. Xavier Hutchinson is the wide receiver 3 for this team. He does basically absolutely nothing for the Texans. I think he's 7 for 70 on the year. I think that John Metchie is going to get his looks even on the field with Nico Collins here. I think they can definitely do that, and they can definitely use him in that role. I just don't think that Xavier Hutchinson moves the needle at all. I think John Metchie has shown a little bit of consistency. I think he had, 5 catches last week for 76 yards and a touchdown or something like that. I think he definitely turned some heads on this team. So John Metchie should be getting some looks in here despite what the depth chart says. I could be totally wrong, but that would be kind of coaching malpractice because you literally get absolutely nothing from Xavier Hutchinson on the field. So higher than 12.5 receiving yards, very, very doable here. Next, we'll go to the other side. We're going to go Cooper Rush lower than 180.5 passing yards. These three together, the Cooper Rush lower than 180.5 passing yards, Nico Collins higher than half a rushing plus receiving touchdown, and John Metchie higher than 12.5 receiving yards, is a 7.02x multiplier, which is plus 602 in sports betting terms. The Cooper Rush lower than 180.5 passing yards is really simple. It comes down to the fact that I think that, 1, the defense on the Texans is good. 2, I don't think that they're going to try to pass that much because they're not going to be successful because the defense is really good and Cooper Rush is not that accurate or that good of a quarterback. And 3, there's a high likelihood that Cooper Rush gets benched in this game, or they just set him, even if he's not playing bad, they set him down for Trey Lance because they traded for Trey Lance in the offseason. They got this former first-round draft pick just sitting on their bench. Cooper Rush isn't a future franchise player. There's no trade value for Cooper Rush. If Trey Lance can show something and play legit, or plays like a legit quarterback, or at least has an edge, or can even evolve into like the role that Justin Fields has with the Steelers, that's actually kind of valuable. So I think that they're going to let Trey Lance take at least a couple series in this, and maybe more than a couple series in this. If he does take a couple series in this, then Cooper Rush is not going to have 180.5 passing yards, even especially if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play, who's allegedly already banged up. So again, I think you got to play lower than 180.5 with Cooper Rush here. I just don't think that it's in the cards for him to have a passing game that is that high. I told you why I like John Metchie higher than 12.5 receiving yards. Again, that's just kind of a joke, way too low. And then I also like Nico Collins higher than half a rushing and receiving touchdown, because they've been waiting to unleash Nico Collins back on this league since he's been hurt earlier this season. They've been waiting and taking their time getting him back into this lineup. They're going to use him here. I think that he's going to score in this one, 7.02x multiplier. All right, let's keep on rolling. Let's go to NBA. NBA is what saved our bacon on Friday, turned it into a little bit of a profitable day because we got through with that one. All right, we're going to take RJ Barrett higher than 1.5 3-pointers made versus Indiana Pacers. So he takes enough 3-pointers in a game for this to hit. I mean, he should be taking 5+ in this matchup against the Pacers. 2 out of 5. 40%, that's kind of tough. But again, I think that he can shoot higher than 5. I think 5 is the floor for how many he's going to take in this matchup. If we get to 7 or 8 attempts from him, he's going to hit 2. It would take a very bad shooting day for RJ Barrett not to get 1.5 3-pointers made in this game. So actually get 2 3-pointers made in this game. So give me RJ Barrett higher than 1.5 3-pointers made in this game versus the Pacers. Next, we're going to go to Jalen Duren higher than 10.5 rebounds versus Chicago. Chicago are in a back-to-back. They're actually an okay out rebounding team, but they're not the greatest offensive rebounding team. So it means that defensive rebounds for Jalen Duren are going to be quite available. 10.5 is definitely in his wheelhouse. He had 10 rebounds in 18 minutes in their last game. So if the Chicago Bulls are trying to shoot loosely and try to keep up and, maybe playing a little bit sloppy after back-to-back, after playing yesterday, Jalen Duren has a great shot at hitting 10.5 rebounds here. I think he could get there. He could hopefully get there like 7 by halftime, and hopefully the game is still competitive and he's still playing a little bit in the third quarter, because, again, there is potential for a blowout here, but, I mean, the Pistons are also on the back-to-back, so he might not be going super ham, or the whole team might not be going super ham either. But that said, I just think that they can out-hustle the Bulls. The Bulls just do not have that grit inside that Jalen Duren can take advantage, or that's going to deter Jalen Duren from just stealing a bunch of boards. So give me Jalen Duren higher than 10.5 rebounds versus Chicago. Last one, Damian Lillard, Dame time versus Houston. Lillard's missed several games with concussion. He is back. When you recover from a concussion, it's not like you're recovering from a pulled hammy and it's still a little tight and you're working through it or something like that. Concussion's pretty binary. You either have one or you don't. He doesn't have one anymore. That's why he's playing in this game. He's going to be shooting. I think he's going to be shooting just fine. He's shooting on the year. His average is okay. He's had a couple down games. But I think in this Houston matchup, he's going to be able to launch some balls and make up for some lost time. Higher than 3.5 3-pointers made for Damian Lillard. Again, this slip is RJ Barrett higher than 1.5 3-pointers made. Jalen Duren higher than 10.5 rebounds versus the Bulls. And then Damian Lillard higher than 3.5 3-pointers made versus Houston. 6.3x multiplier. Last slip of the day. We're going NHL. Leon Draisaitl higher than half of a goal versus Montreal. Montreal allows one of the bottom 3 as far as goals allowed in the NHL. Obviously, the Oilers have plenty of offensive firepower. It's on the road, so it's not exactly as consistent as when they're playing up at Rogers in Edmonton. But whatever. Let's take Leon Draisaitl higher than half a goal here. He's been hot on our slips lately. I don't think he's going to stop anytime soon. So Leon Draisaitl higher than half a goal versus the Montreal Canadiens. Then we'll go to Matt Duchene, higher than half of a point versus the Anaheim Ducks. The dude for the Stars, Matt Duchene, is a beast. He's getting so many points, goals, assists, helper, double helper, however you want to frame it. Duchene is a point machine right now. And again, I don't think the Ducks are necessarily going to be able to slow down the Stars as one of the best teams in the West. Anaheim does have a little bit more grit than potentially in years past, and they're a little bit tougher out than you might be expecting. But I think at the end of the day, Duchene and the Stars are probably going to get 3 or 4 goals in this game. And if they do, Duchene is going to be contributing to at least one of those, whether it's him scoring himself or getting an assist. Last one, we're going to go to Travis Konecny, higher than half a point versus the Avs. The Avs are on the road at Philadelphia. Konecny is the leading point getter for this Flyers team. It's not necessarily a consistent, like every game he gets 1 or gets, he's averaging 1.2 per game or whatever. He it's more of like he goes in like streaks. There's been a couple of games where he's gone pointless, and then all of a sudden he gets like a 4-assist game or a 2-goal game and a 1 assist and whatever. The thing is that the Avs defense and goaltending is not great, and that usually doesn't travel. This Flyers team is tough. I think that they're going to be able to put up plenty of goals in this game, and I think Konecny is going to have plenty of opportunities to get that point. So give me Travis Konecny higher than half a point versus the Avs in Philadelphia. That is a 4.19x multiplier. Again, 4.19x multiplier. So Monday Night Football slip, NBA slip, NHL slip. We got options tonight. Let's hit one of them. Let's hit all of them. If we hit one, we're profitable. If we hit all of them, that's gravy. If we hit 2 of them, that's also good. So let's make some money tonight. Good luck on your bets, or good luck on your picks, I should say.